It's at the center and very integral because if we don't address the issue of women's rights, then whenever we are discussing or negotiating on climate change related interventions, we would be leaving out half the population. And we have to understand that climate change impacts men and women differently. We recently did a study on disaster and we looked at women's resilience, and we found that if due to disaster one man we lose the life of one male person, four female persons die. So we can see that we need gender disaggregated data to be able to design, plan, and come up with intervention. Gender sensitive responses are absolutely critical for us to address climate change.
And how do you see this playing out in this new work program that the UNFCCC has just come up with about gender issues and climate change?
It's a mixed feeling. We would like to think of it positively, that this is being discussed and there is the opportunity to look at gender equality, gender balance, and gender responsive climate change policies and actions. But we have to see real action, and we need to find parties agreeing to put their finances, the technology, the support behind gender responsive climate action.
So particularly in Bangladesh, where you do your work, how have these initiatives been successful or being challenged by different criteria, and how do you see this particularly in your country?
Well, we have had some awareness raising, and there has been some capacity building to try and incorporate gender responsive actions into climate change planning, designing. But we are working in a situation where it is imbalanced, where women and men do not enjoy the same kind of access or rights, even though Constitution gives them equal rights. So the practices and the norms are not women friendly. And in those circumstances, without having changed that, we are trying to come up with interventions to address climate change. So there is that question of how effective it will be. But we do know that Bangladesh has improved in its disaster management, preparedness, and women are taking leadership. Some of the programs that Actionaid has been engaged in or is rolling out is with women taking leadership.
And do you see men also taking leadership on gender equality issues, or has this been just propelled by women's voices?
I wish I could say a big yes, but that isn't the case. There is an attempt to raise awareness and get more men and boys involved, but we still have a long way to go in terms of the social practices. Infrastructure, government, structural situations, legislation, these are all inherent problems with which we are dealing in the backdrop, and in that backdrop we are trying to address climate change.